Hi viewers, this is Ruth Mika. I'm with my colleague
Abraham Care.
I believe last week's discussion graced your week, and this week's discussion is one of a kind, and it's also going to enrich you with knowledge based on his experiences as a young man. Speaking of peer pressure, it's something that literally terrorizes the youth, the young people, the adolescents, and the adult youth. It's a topic that has diverse understanding. It has a varied way people understand it, but then there is a way we want to bring it on board. There is a way we want to share it with you. We want to have it from the perspective of Abraham Kir, because being a young person, being a South Sudanese, I believe he has ever encountered peer pressure in his upbringing up to this far, and so he's going to tell us how he overcame all that and how he wants the young people to help themselves with the knowledge that he has and the experience that he has so far experienced. So Abraham Kir,
Yes.
welcome on board again.
Thank you so much.
So speaking of peer pressure, how would you really let someone understand what peer pressure is, or the peer groups? Who are they in particular?
Well, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity once again.
You're welcome.
And I thank our viewers for joining us. First, I will say I will define the word peer pressure in a detailed way. Talking about peer pressure, I think almost all of us have been influenced by any other person in a good way or the other.
In one way or the
But
other.
I think most of it is about bad influence, and that comes from wanting to fit in a society and do what they do to feel okay. Most of us feel like we are insufficient when we are not doing what others are doing. We fail to understand that even we ourselves can live the best way without doing something that others are doing.
Without being influenced by
without
other
being
people.
influenced by other people. So we feel comfortable around others, and we feel we should always do and it's something that they do and fit into their shoes.
Which is not right, which is not the case.
Which is not
we
the
all
case.
have different understandings of life.
Exactly.
We have different races to run, and so we shouldn't compare our lives with others.
Exactly.
This brings me back to the idea of gangsters and Sherikat and how we have been terrorizing the youth and the people, the old and the young. It has been a lot. I believe even the stakeholders have been involved trying to stop them from interfering with the daily activities of the citizens in this side of the country. So I don't know how you would really echo this out to them, how you would want them not to be influenced by each other.
I think firstly, I would really want them to think of having a change. When you look at people that have changed and you look at people that are living a positive life, that are living a productive life, that are living a successful life, those who are chasing their dreams, because I believe we are all youth, but they are youth who are really focused, chasing their goals and what. When you know what to chase, and know.
Speaking of goals, like go to school, study,
Exactly.
find a career, find a job, do something, let your hands be active.
That's right. So being idle makes you do evil.
Like the saying, an idle man is the devil's workshop or something.
Exactly.
So the moment they are idle, they get to engage in certain things that don't really benefit them, but they benefit them for the short term, but in the long term,
Yeah.
it eventually gets to affect them.
Yeah, them not knowing that they are like, let me say, blindfolded. It's like a curtain being put in their face, and they don't see
What's ahead.
What's ahead of them. It makes them not to know what is good that is coming ahead of them. So they are blindfolded. They really don't know what they are doing.
And life doesn't end here.
Life doesn't
You
end.
may get someone with money right now, you go attack them, mug them, take whatever they have. At the end of it all, whatever you took will not last.
Exactly.
To finish, and you'll go back to the street. So do something productive that can sustain you for a longer time, something that will give you a reputation,
That's
a name, something that will protect your family image.
This comes to a point where they have to understand that the life that you're supposed to live, that will give you a change or a turnover tomorrow, is a life of chasing a goal, just like you said, going to school, doing other things that are so important, following your career. You know, it keeps you busy. It's a business that pays you tomorrow. It may not pay you now, but it will pay you tomorrow.
True.
So you have to understand that there has to be a change that you should act upon, because not everybody is acting like you. So you should know that if I look upon this person and then critically analyze the life he's living that is not the same as mine, that is contrary as mine, then I have to understand that that life pays. So they should really let me separate themselves, pull out from the crowd, and understand themselves
get to
individually.
have people they look up
to.
So you're trying to say we should advise the young people associate with the right group of peers, the right group of people that will influence them in a positive way.
Exactly.
Speaking of that, how do they get to associate themselves with the right people when initially they have been in the wrong groups already?
I think what they can do is, it's not actually them that could do that at first. I think the first step is at a community level, leadership-wise. You know, the leadership of the communities have to do something in a way that they have to involve themselves in talking to the youth, talking to them about what they could do, bringing in some activities that could make the youth busy, bringing in some other things that could really make
recreational activities.
Exactly. Organizing sponsorship. They should take these guys to institutions. They should take them. They should make them.
I think the communities that we have at the leadership that we have at the community level now is doing that. They're trying their best to really bring them on board. We even have humanitarians doing that, trying to bring back their minds into the right path.
And that is what I want to be done in an active way, and
sure.
It should really be done so quickly and so fast.
But they are rebellious.
That is the thing.
There is something with bad peer influence. It leads to addiction. If I get to be influenced by some group of people who drink and I begin drinking now, I'll be addicted. And if I begin smoking, I'll be addicted. So there's something related to addiction, and so they feel like they get to be fulfilled when they do that, and they get to fit in, as you say, they get to fit in the group of their friends, and they get to love it. So how do you get to advise them de-associate themselves from addiction?
I think we most times don't realize that we're doing the wrong thing until we fall into a problem and we realize this was bad. They normally say we learn, I don't know, the hard way or from
our mistakes.
From our mistakes. But you don't really have to wait for that mistake to happen until
for you to learn.
Before you know it's a mistake, I believe most times people fall into the mistake first, and then there's another person that knows that he might do a mistake. So you could really know that you're going astray, but you want to test the waters,
the depth of the waters with both feet.
Exactly.
You will drown.
Definitely. So I believe this is at a personal level, whereby this is a feeling that all of us have. We just don't please ourselves. We want to please others by doing what they do so that we fit in. We believe we have nobody to associate with by leaving this association we have. You leave this circle thinking there is no any other circle that could treat you like this are doing. So you believe once you do something that is contrary to what your peers do, you will definitely not fit in. So loneliness is the fear. You feel like you won't get the people that are having your company right now, and that is where the fear comes from.
You have mentioned very important points from the community perspective, the community level to the individual level. I want to bring in the family level and the individual level of these people who get to be influenced the wrong way. The families, I believe they have tried to advise their children, they have talked to them. I know for sure they've done their best. But then now the individuals themselves, what do you think they should do themselves? I want to bring in the idea of self-esteem, how they should learn to say no, and how they should get to identify the right group of people to engage with.
Learning how to say no is very hard.
Mm.
Saying yes is easy. It's easy for me to accept something, even though I might not do it, because
Yeah.
I'll feel bad when I say no.
You feel like you've offended someone when you say no.
Exactly. That fear is one of the things that affects us a lot. Because when you tell me do this and I say no, I believe I'm going to feel like you are going to start de-associating yourself with me, or it's just going to cause a different friction between us.
People fear rejection.
People fear rejection.
And they also have low self-esteem in a way that if you say no to someone, they may feel like, okay, you have disgraced this person's reputation. Why have I said no?
That is it.
But then it's a core thing. It's something important, and it's critical. We should know when to say no and when to say yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
so that's where
important.
everything starts from. The power of rejection and the power of acceptance. If you accept something that you truly need to accept, it changes something.
It does.
And if you reject something that you're supposed to reject, it will definitely change something.
True.
So anything that you reject saves you. Anything that you accept that is to affect you truly affects you. So I think all these things starts from yes and no. Most of us don't say no, and yet in our hearts we could say no.
I want to add on that when we learn to say no as individuals, when we learn to say yes as individuals at the right time and in a particular place, we get to avoid many things.
Sure.
We get to avoid circumstances of things that are of hindrance to us.
Yeah.
We get to reap the good fruits of our decisions. So the moment you decide wrongly as an individual, it gets back to you, it affects you in one way or the other. So we should learn to say no regardless whether it affects you or not. I have this quote from I should call her mentor, Viola Davis. She said, if there is someone that you would want to disappoint, let it not be yourself. Disappoint everyone.
Wow,
Disappoint as much as you can. If it's someone out there and you feel like your decision will disappoint them, it's fine. Disappoint them. But don't disappoint yourself, because if you disappoint yourself, you will carry the load of the repercussions and all the consequences will overweigh you down. And once they do that, it will be hard for you to get up. So the real ideal voice that we are trying to echo out to you now is stay away from peer pressure. Learn to say no. Know your goals. Know what you're chasing. Have something that you're doing. Engage in the rightful activities, and you'll have a better future.
That's it. To add on that, we need to learn how to live without the crowd.
True.
You know, you will never know where you're going when you're with the crowd.
And you don't need to please people. If 10 people are going north, you can decide to be the only one going south.
Exactly.
That's fine. You don't have to please people.
True.
Disappoint them. Do your things. As long as you believe it's the right thing that you're doing.
Exactly. And not every road that everyone takes is the road that you should take. You have your own path. Any decision you make, because people have different decisions.
True.
If we were to open our minds and we see in a computer the decisions that we are to make or made, they will really be different. Everybody has his own path, his own direction, decision. So don't be afraid of making a decision that is unusual
contrary,
or that is contrary to
the multiple ones.
So you have to know anything you think of is for you. It doesn't have to please everybody all the time.
Do something that pleases you regardless.
It will pay you.
That's the bottom line of it. Do something that
Exactly.
pleases you.
You will be comfortable.
As long as you know and your instinct tells you it's the right thing, do it. But we're not saying go against the advices of your parents, of your guardians, of your mentors. No. If they advise you and guide you to something, follow that. But then what we are saying is stay away from peer pressure. You can decide to do your things and not be involved in the bad peer pressure. It's the thing that we're telling you.
Another thing that I'm to add is, you could stay with somebody who does something wrong, who is involved in an activity that you don't like, and you could still do something that is opposite to what he does, and pick the good part of him that does what you love.
Sure.
Know how to balance.
Know how to balance
life. If I know what is bad about you, and then I know what is good about you,
I should take the good side, and then I leave the bad side.
most people judge a lot, but
Judgment is our thing. All of us are now judges.
if I smoke right now,
I'll be judging you every day.
you'll be judging
Why
me
are you
every day.
smoking?
But if
What became of you?
but if I'm a good mentor, or I know IT, and you need those skills from me,
I just acquire the skills.
you will acquire the skills.
And
But
I
if
leave
you
like
judge me
smoking.
and you tell others Abraham smokes, trust me, you won't gain anything from me.
I won't.
But the most important thing is learning how to get something from the good side
Like,
and leave something.
have friends
that
of
is not.
benefit.
Have friends of benefit.
Get to acquire a skill. Learn from your friends. If it's a good thing, you want to learn that and acquire that in your life. Attain it. But don't engage in the negative side of whatever they do.
Let people change you
The right way.
the right way, and also consider people the right way.
True.
If there's time for them to change, they will change. So you know when somebody is to change you by the good side of them.
True.
Because at the end of the day, you may not be their factor of change, but they may add something into your life, maybe a skill. You may not be the right person that will change what they do.
Or knowledge.
Or knowledge.
Or advice. Just like advices, once you're advised to do something by an elder or a friend, you don't need to do it exactly the moment, the way it's said, or the exact moment
We normally
it's
say,
being said.
do
Sit down and
what
decide.
I say, but don't do what I do.
Yeah, don't do as I do as I say. You need to sit down, as he said, and decide accordingly. Decide. Don't follow what they're doing, don't follow what they're saying, but decide. If it's something that falls in line with your path of life, do that.
Yeah, that is it. Lastly, I would say, having a change is something that you instill in yourself.
True.
Nobody can change you minus you yourself accepting change.
No one is coming.
No one is coming.
No
to
one is
save
coming
you.
to hold
So
your hand.
please take it in this way. If you are to change, you will get an agent of change, but you yourself have to accept change. What is change? You need to know what it is and what it means. That means all the advices that are to come to you, that you guys stop doing this, start doing this, you will understand what it means.
And you will decide accordingly.
Eventually
with time, of course.
So change starts with you.
Thank you, viewers. It has been a very good discussion, and I believe you've picked one or two things that you can apply into your life. Our guest, Abraham Kir, has been speaking from the perspective of the youth, and I believe you'll have to really you make good use of the knowledge and the experience that he has shared with you. Thank you so much. See you again. Goodbye.